going to go on air here now. I think we're on air.
Hey!
Hey there, folks. It is Dan from Getting Felt Up, a puppetry podcast with Dan and Nate and friends. That's right. We're back now, and we have some fun new things to announce. A bunch of new episodes are... Whoops. I was just dumb and had the YouTube window open while I was talking. And so it started. I'm just like, that's my voice. But anyway, so we've got a bunch of awesome new stuff coming your way for 2017 and moving forward, because Dan and Nate are now opening up the floodgates to some of their awesome puppetry friends and then all of their awesome puppetry friends. So very soon, you'll start to hear podcasts that don't have Dan in them, don't have Nate in them, or sometimes don't have Dan or Nate in them. Because,
and you're stuck with me.
Because we're opening up the guest co-host, we're going to call them, until they settle in and become official co-hosts, and then it's just going to become Getting Felt Up, a puppetry podcast. But so the first guest we've ever had, the highest, the most listened to episode we have, the grumpiest. And
then everybody stops.
Everybody stops because he's the grumpiest guest we've ever had, Mr. James Wojtal Jr. Welcome.
Hi, world.
Welcome, Mr. Wojtal. It's very exciting to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Dan.
It's good to see you. I love your.
I don't see you much.
I know, right? And we live like, it's stupid because we live so close to each other. I've got to close my Lego door. That looks a little obnoxious.
Lego door. Oh, kind of close. Well, you're in Pennsylvania, and I'm in New Jersey. And
yeah, but it's not like you live in like Virginia or something. We could definitely be hanging out.
There's just some distance. There's
minor distance, but But so I reached out to James, and James got kind of immediately excited. He's like, "Let's do it!" And so yes. I'm pretty excited to have it. So just let's recap. We're gonna do like a little mini episode. We get like 20, 30 minutes or so. But recap, and let's talk about how we met, because I remember. Do you remember the auditions of Getting Felt Up?
Dan sent me emails as a fanboy.
Oh my God! Yes, that's right. I don't know if we covered. I totally forgot about this. I don't know if we covered this in one of your episodes, but absolutely forgot. Vaguely forgot. And you know what's a shame is that Hotmail like redid their whole service, and so I guess there were like emails that went out, but like my email address from Hotmail was like the first one I ever had. So I didn't like check it. And after a certain point in time, I just let it die. And like, cause it was just like 300 messages of spam a day. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Well, when this episode's over, I will find the photo, cause it's on my computer upstairs, and I will send it to Dan and he can post it.
Well, I have the photos I sent you, but you should forward me the emails I sent you. I'll
see if I can find them.
Because it's such a bummer that I lost all of it. I lost so many like great emails from like you. And
you said it's my old AOL address, which I still use. I could do that right now. I could find it.
I don't even know.
Find the page.
I don't even know how I found your address either. You must.
Well, that was what? That was the early 2000s, right?
Do you have like a blog spot or a Zanga or something?
I must have had something. I didn't have a Zanga. I don't know what that is, and I didn't have a live journal. I might have started was I on a blog? Or you know what it is? I think the Swazzle guys had interviewed me for their blog. And also Andrew up in Canada, who did Puppet Vision, which was a great resource website for puppet events and occurrences. He had posted a bunch of my stuff on there. So you must have found contact.
And there's also a forum. There's also like a Muppet forum, like where builders went.
Yeah, I abandoned that.
Yeah.
there was that at one point, and then I realized this is dumb.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
But
yeah, so it was so one of those ways you must have found me, and that was when I was working with Rick doing Avenue Q.
Yeah, and I don't even know how because I was building a set for my high school to do like just where we just did It Sucks to Be Me at like a big Pennsylvania thespian conference, and we were the talk of the town when I built them. But these things, I have the picture. They're I mean, if you go to our Facebook page, Getting Felt Up on Facebook, and go to like the early albums of pictures we posted, you can see these horrendous. They are the size.
horrendous. But you didn't know.
I didn't know any better.
That.
I was using I got like a 12 foam styrofoam ball that people use for the sun, like in their solar system thing. It was absolutely a hot mess. But I remember.
But they were wonderful and they came out beautifully.
Yeah, the last one I made of the four or five was really nice. I really enjoyed that one. It was Nikki was the last one I built, but I just remember
I can't find it. The last email I have, and the earliest email I have is from 4/11, and it was much earlier than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But
although it's still searching, maybe it'll find it.
Maybe we'll find it.
We'll go back to that.
But then we were in auditions for Imagination.
Yes, and I think I met you briefly there, but I was barely paying attention. For those auditions, I just barely made it into the city. There was an issue with the buses. I left.
Me too.
It normally takes.
I was horribly late for my audition.
Yeah, it only takes 45 minutes to get to the city. I left for a 6 o'clock audition. I left at, I think it was 3 p.m. and my audition was at 6. And I ran into my audition at like 6:15. It took 3 hours to get in. They had us sitting on the side road in the city. Wouldn't let us off the bus. It was a nightmare. So
yeah, I remember being like, because it's the first thing I ever auditioned for that wasn't like local theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was the first.
That was the only thing I think I've ever auditioned for.
Well, that's the nice thing about being a puppeteer in the puppet community is that work just kind of falls in your lap, or your friends doing it, or this and that, and it's,
yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I've sent audition tapes in since then, and I've been told I can't lip sync, but
you're a wonderful lip syncer. I enjoy when you build puppets. For those, I mean, everyone knows. If you're listening to this podcast, but James is like the master of puppet building. Like there's nothing he can't.
I'm hardly a master.
There's nothing he can't do on like a shoestring budget, like in 14 hours. You know what I mean?
I'm really good about spitting stuff out with hot glue and spit and getting it done in a day.
Getting it done quick. And
I'm hardly a master. I've worked with the masters. I pale in comparison.
Well, I mean, I think that you're a master in your own respect for some of the amazing things you do.
I appreciate Thank you.
But I remember you and I were the two tallest people who auditioned for Imagination. So
we were.
Yeah,
that was interesting how everybody was so petite.
It was so tiny. But I remember we both got to the callbacks. I had no idea who any of you guys were and how established you were and how familiar you were.
Well, I didn't. I mean, aside from Stacy Weingarten and Laura, who were in my cast, I didn't know anybody.
Really?
Well, no, because Lars and I had worked together at Muppets. Stacy had done some work with Rick when we were doing Avenue Q. Jonathan Carlucci, I'd never met until then. Nate, I'd never met until then.
Did you know you had to have known Johnny? You've had to have at least run into Johnny.
Well, I mean, I knew Johnny from Muppets, but I mean that was and from Q, but I didn't consider him really. I was just talking about cast
wise, yeah.
I didn't know Emily. I didn't know who else was in the show with us back then. Oh, Carol D'Agostino was the other one I knew because she and I had worked together. We both worked for Rick and for a gentleman in the city named Randy Carfagno and some other random stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. So and I just remember that because for those who don't know about Imagination, it's blacklight puppetry, and so everything has to be done on a 2D plane. And so with that, you need at least one tall mofo to be involved so that you can clear over people who are passing underneath you without black arms crossing and stuff like that. So I just remember them
doing all of that stuff. So I mean, we both did tank tracks, and you also did the octopus, right?
Yeah,
right?
I did. Yeah, I did Leonard. Yeah, and so for the auditions, you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for eventually.
Well, no, I never. It was Carlucci who played tank. I never got to play tank.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
So Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan's tall and lanky, but he must have had to go up on tiptoes to get up over and around you too. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did. Well, I was tank for all the promo stuff.
That's right.
That they did, and because I was part of the promo cast before I got brought into the.
I think I have a promo tank here somewhere in the back.
Do you have Tunk around there somewhere?
I do. Tunk is somewhere in the back over there in a box. because I had to refurbish them for something, and then they just ended up living here.
Yeah.
I'll give them back to Emily someday.
Someday. Hi, Emily Schoenfeld. But yeah, so I remember, and then God, I remember you were like doing that show is so physically taxing. I remember that like everybody in that show when they were,
and I smoked back then.
You did. I just remember you were like I mean, you're skinny and like fit to begin with, but you were like super skinny.
But I wasn't then. When you joined the cast as a regular member, I had lost probably 45 pounds.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. When I started that, I was so out of shape, and we had Donna trying to give us do these stretches. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Okay, good. I'm glad that
I can't move like that.
I'm glad that when I was on tour and everyone was stretching and I was just kind of in the back, just like rolling around like a.
Came with me. Yeah, you guys go have fun. I'll get into the desk taking a nap.
Yeah. Because it's depending on the track you got in Imagine Ocean, you either had to do a lot of physical work or you just had to be like, in certain places.
Tank wasn't that difficult. He was physical, but it wasn't that physical. And I had a lot of dead time too, where I didn't have other duties and things to remember. So like, I would go off at one point, and when I started getting into better shape and losing, I joined a gym, and then I was doing push-ups and crunches in between takes. Like, so on those 3 show days, I was doing a workout on top of my cardio, which was the show. And
amazing. Yeah.
And then I gained it all back.
Me too. I'm trying to get back on the. I'm back on the wagon. Other than this hard cider that I'm currently drinking, which is
well, there you are.
But you know,
I'm not on a wagon. This podcast is brought to you by the lovely Blue Moon,
Belgian white.
It is.
But so we're coming back, and Nate and I kind of talked about it, and we're like, because Nate is now super busy with his new.
He's in Johnston things in Florida. Yes,
he's just knee deep in puppets, just all over the place. And when he's allowed to talk about those things, trust us, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it when he's allowed to talk about it. But right now, everything he's working on is so new. Some of it's like brand new, just got released. Some of it's still,
and I'm sure he's going to have to jump through hoops and get proper
absolutely
permissions to mention what he does.
He's just so new, and but because he's new and he just moved and he's married and he's got like 3 jobs now with his voiceover and a couple of puppetry stuff. He's just so busy.
Even tonight, when I was texting with him earlier, it's like, I would love to jump on with you guys and talk, but I am driving with the family. I'm like, all right, bye.
Yeah, and so as Nate becomes more of a family man, and then as I become more of a family man, because I just had my second baby, I was like, you know what? Nate and I were talking. He's like, you know what? We've got to let's reach out to some of our favorites, some of our favorite people, some people that were received very well by the community when we did podcasts, and let's bring them on as guest co-hosts, and then eventually
teach us all how to use the software, so we do this.
Just
because I'm a Luddite, it's amazing I know how to work my iPad.
Just hit that red circle button that says record. But you know, let's get him out there.
Oh no, crap.
So we've reached out to a few folks. James was one of the first people on my list to talk to because I mean, aside from him being awesome and aside from him being a great builder and also being a great friend of the podcast, he's also just a tremendous friend, and he has helped me. You've helped me so much in building puppets in the past. Really, I mean, it's not even funny. Some of the best puppets I've built is based off of some of the rough sketches you sent me or some of the things you yelled at me. I remember
you made that beautiful cat.
Yeah, I made that great cat. I made that Kevin Smith puppet I made.
I didn't yell at you.
Well,
I just encouraged you forcefully.
The Kevin Smith puppet I made, you yelled at me a lot. You're like, no, you pinch this, and you do that, and you cut it here. Because I was like, I don't know what you mean.
Learn! There's an internet.
Barge, you bastard. But
not hot glue. Oh God.
So James
Elmer's won't do it.
Yeah. So James is going to be one of our new guest co-hosts, as well as past guests such as Mr. Ben DeRocher and Art Vega.
Who?
Mr. Ben DeRocher.
Oh, him.
That one Canadian one.
Who I was messaging with on Instagram earlier.
Yeah, he's absolutely wonderful. And then the idea is, while it's going to be easier on Nate and I to have other co-hosts and then other guests, and then we're ultimately going to cut them loose, and if they want to, just go and hang out and talk with people. It's also the benefit to you, the listener,
sure,
because now you get to I mean, in the past 70 episodes that we've done so far, it's Nate and I.
You've done that many?
Yeah, we've about 70 episodes in. It's Nate and I half-assing trying to talk to our friends and people we know. And it's not really us trying to actively pursue. If we wanted to, we could have had probably at least half the Muppeteers and half the people on Sesame, because they're awesome people and they love to talk and they love to, they love to participate in the community. But we haven't been able to put our best foot forward because life has been crazy. But now we've got.
And there's also plenty of other people who aren't Muppeteers that you can talk to.
Exactly. Exactly.
There is a world of puppetry
outside
beyond this.
Yeah, outside of what Henson created.
And if they're interested, I would love to try to talk to, like, my puppetry mentor, who before I worked for Muppets was Nick Coppola, who runs the Puppet Work Theater in Park Slope in Brooklyn. There are also the
legend.
Performer. Yeah, there's also David and Peter Sirodiak, who do amazing puppetry. There's plenty of other people on our pages. There's the amazing Fred Thompson, who anybody who goes to the O'Neill knows. Maybe we could try and get him on here and get some of his story. There's plenty of old guard puppeteers that we can reach out to.
Absolutely.
Ronnie Burkett, the amazing marionette performer up in Canada. I'm sure he would be happy to do this.
That's why for you, the listeners, we wanted to diversify and bring in other people who knew other people, and just keep reaching out further and further to kind of bring in a whole bunch of new stuff. So you're going to see a new website dropping soon for Getting Felt Up, a whole new awesome interactive website with a whole bunch of new co-hosts and new awesome guests, and it's going to be pretty fantastic. And Mr. Wojtal is helping us kick it off.
That's right. I'll look more professional next time if I do it live like this. Won't have a hat and sweatshirt on, and I'll drop a backdrop. I'll be in the Alps, so it'll look lovely.
Yeah, but no. So, what have you built anything awesome and fantastic lately that you can tell me about?
I made 2 really cool things I can't talk about. I'm making a bunch of puppets for a project that is as yet unnamed for an incredibly talented person, and I can't talk about that either because it's all hush hush pitching. Hopefully it'll become a real job and I'll make some money for once in my life. There is, what else? I'm going to be doing some stuff with Puppetworks. Puppetworks has their theater in Park Slope, and then we also kind of have a satellite theater in Jersey City. And I'm going to be doing some shows there in February while we train a new performer. So me and Mike, who's the co-artistic director, resident artistic director, Daily Day of the theater, he and I will be performing there.
So you're just doing a lot of stuff that you're not allowed to talk to us about.
A lot of stuff not allowed to. I might have a gig happening next week. I'll find out Monday or Tuesday. Crossing my fingers. And then I'm trying to get rid of all of this horrible leopard skin fabric that I don't want and don't know what to do with. So I was mocking up things with it yesterday. So
nice. I like it.
Yes.
Is a puppet a day ever gonna
on the iPad there? I'm cockeyed.
Is a Muppet a day ever gonna come back?
It might, because I got to get rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, look, folks, this is my life. Back there are 2 wardrobe racks, and I have all sorts of fur fabrics hanging on them. So that I'm going to try and get rid of some stuff this year. But I'm finishing up these other puppets for my client. Got to get that done by February. Hopefully, I'll have some work happening, and then I may do a puppet a day. Or it'll be a puppet a week.
Filling some space. It's so much fun to watch you.
Making space and hopefully making enough money to pay my taxes, and
which is always the goal, right?
Put some money aside for the impending apocalypse, and we'll be working.
No, that's awesome. Boy, there's something else I want to ask you about, but now I completely blanked on it.
Think about it.
Well, I guess we'll forget it. I have absolutely.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come back to me.
Did it involve this? Did you want to buy yardage of leopards?
Fur? Why on earth do you even have that much leopard print fur?
I don't know. It must have been on sale. Honestly, it must have been on sale. I've had it for 15 years. It's been in my collection.
It hasn't dried out.
No, it's all fine. I mean, fur fabric lasts pretty long. I mean, I was refurbing Muppets that were
True.
as old as I was when I worked there.
I guess I'm used to. I'm used to, like, in the beginning when I was building puppets out of fur, getting the stuff from Joann's that like really did not last. But I guess if you get some good,
like the craft fur, the funky wispy,
yeah, the wispy stuff with like the,
fur. I mean, this stretchier stuff has a little more. There's more chemicals in it, so I guess it lasts longer. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Well, and most plush toys don't rot away, so but
that's true.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have it. I mean, it's just like there's too. I'm trying to hang it up. I've got too much of it, and I really don't know what to do with it all. So,
have you considered just making Tarzan loincloths and putting them on Etsy? Just
if I was in better shape, I'm sure I could sell them. Nobody wants a potbelly Tarzan.
That's awesome. I love that you have so much. And then how much you've got to just have like a closet full of foam at this point, right?
Oh, well,
or do you just buy it as you need it?
I buy it as I need it because it rots, it goes bad. You don't want to buy too much. And the white stuff, the good, well, that's not even good anymore. The white stuff that you get from Rogers Foam is so wimpy now. It's not. It's like it used to be more robust. The cell structure had more strength and integrity, and they don't think about puppet builders when they're manufacturing. They just make what they make. And it's really gotten very soft. It's almost too soft to do anything with. It collapses. It doesn't hold its shape. You have to reinforce it more. So I've been using the black stuff they sell at Canal Rubber in the city. And that's got a little more strength. And this new version they have glues as good as the old stuff does. So a lot of us are using that. But you can't dye it because it's black.
It's black.
It's,
Yeah. Can you paint it, though? I imagine you can, if you could prime it and paint it, right? I mean, I know that the paint doesn't last long because if it's moving.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Foam, you can kind of give it a light dusting of paint, but you'll still see black coming through.
I see. Yeah, because it's so porous.
And there's some other cell structures out there that I've been using, like the L200 and the junk foam, the upholstery foam, but I only buy it as I need it, and I mock up with it. And when I was making the Geekling things that I sold, these stupid things, which I'll probably start making again. This will probably be the bulk of what goes up on the Etsy store. I'll just make dozens of these things and sell them. There's that camera.
Yeah, I love those things. Those are pretty fantastic.
I mean, they're very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good.
Or they're just like they're similar to my Bernard, which I usually have handy, but I don't have handy right this second. So
I mean, they're very, very simple. There's no foam in them. They're just the mouth and the fabric and some arm rods.
Oh, I do have them handy.
Oh, you got them handy?
He's hiding under all my receipts because I too
each other are puppets.
I too am avoiding doing my taxes. So
yeah, I'm not avoiding. I'm dreading. I have no money. Yeah, see, yeah, it's very much that. It's
just a little thing. Just a sock of fabric on it.
Perfect.
Yep. No, but I remember what I wanted to ask you. Can you now that it's out and now that it's been out for a while now? Can you talk to me about the experience of doing a one-day build with Adam on Tested?
Oh, that was awesome. That was so much fun.
I mean, I've been like a quiet addict of Tested for like well over a year.
Okay. I watched whatever goes up free. I haven't subscribed because I don't have the free time to dive in and really go through everything they have. So
the premium content isn't there. It's not abundant. The premium content isn't really abundant. You're really just supporting them. There's maybe like one new video a week, every week or two, although they're trying to get better at that. But
well, they've been doing more. I know they're putting up more content. So what that was all Rick Lyon. Rick met Adam at Comic-Con. And if you don't know Rick, he's an amazing puppet designer and puppeteer and puppet builder. He did all of Avenue Q. He's done a lot of stuff. Anyway, he's also big into cosplay. And he occasionally will cosplay as the 66 Batman. And he's really good. He's made an amazing costume that he's built of his own. He's procured parts here and there, customized them, made his own versions of those things. And he met Adam at Comic-Con and they got to talking. And they said, oh, let's do something. And his producer, Kristen, was like, okay, let's do this. Oh, we're going to be in Newark doing this show. We can go and visit Rick's shop, which isn't that far away. And they worked it out. And so that was really all Rick. And he just kind of put out a call on Facebook, and it was like, hey, if anyone's around, we're going to be doing this thing. I can't tell you what it is. It's really cool. You'll have a great time. I can't pay you for it, but it'll be a great day. So I actually turned down a day's worth of work on John Oliver to do it because it was just, once I said, yeah, I'll do it. And he told me what it was. Like, oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So, we got to do this, and I made a couple of cool things for Adam recently. For Christmas that he's giving away, or gave away. But he's awesome. He's a lot of fun to talk to. And at this past New York Comic Con, my friend Ken Plume was in town. Ken does a bit of a chat and the Ken PD Snidecast with Dana Snyder and a lot of other things. He was in town working on some things and taking care of some personal business. And I had made something for Adam's producer friend. She wanted a puppet I made. Remember the sloths I was making?
Yeah.
She bought one. She wanted one. So
that's awesome. Can you
talk
talk about what those 30 sloths were for yet?
Well, that's part of a group of now 90 almost now.
Really?
It's for a group on the upper at the 92nd Street Y in Manhattan.
Oh wow.
They're a Jewish outreach group, a parent-children group type thing, and part of the package that goes out to these groups that join the network, they get this puppet as part of the educational program.
That's very cool. Those sloths.
Fun.
Those sloths are really cool.
They're great. They're a beast to make. It's so many of them. It really gets to be difficult to,
at a certain point,
energy up to make them all.
At a certain point, the joy leaves your heart. After the 60th or 70th of the same puppet.
That is when the work becomes work. But anyway, she loved one, and so I made her one, and so I got to go. I was hanging out with Adam and her and a couple of other people in this place, and turns out Ken was there with Hal Lublin, who does the We Got This podcast with Mark Gagliardi, and we were all just talking and having a good time, and it was great. So I mean, it's been interesting that led from doing that one day thing with Rick, but pretty much everything we did is right there in that video. I mean, we shot the shit a lot in between takes. There's plenty of stuff that isn't like vocally recorded, but that's what we were doing. They
awesome.
did a drawing and we made the thing, and so you get this shot of me kind of showing Adam how I pattern foam.
And it was you. I absolutely love the foam pattern. And it seems like since he's done that, he's everything. It's like,
he's doing all this
great stuff.
That Totoro costume he made,
and the bear concert. Yeah.
I mean, it's wonderful stuff. I mean, he's a talented man, and I guess we kind of inspired a little bit of that to jump into it a little more with both feet. But he does beautiful work on his own. I mean, his props are immaculate. I can't do the prop work that he does. That's so exacting and perfect. You can fudge a seam on a puppet and no one will know. But, no, it was myself and Ron Binion and Rick Lyon, and it was all Rick's.
Yeah, and then Ron has sent him a few of his.
Rick for that. That's all him.
Yeah, and Ron has sent him a few of his little guys. I forget what he calls them.
Yes. He's got his little simple practice puppets, and they're great. They're simple, and that is he used that basic puppet for a project with Rick Lazzarini for Honda or Toyota. I can't remember the car company. Might have been Honda or Ford even. But they had drawn a puppet kind of what Ron had, and Rick saw Ron had him and was like, well, why don't we pay you to make that for us, and then you can puppeteer it and do this thing. Awesome. So Ron was that puppet character. Yeah. That's
really cool. Yeah, because I see those little puppet guys. Adam has them hanging in his shop now, like dead center, like right on a coat hanger, I think a coat rack, like right in the middle of his shop for all of his videos. And so they're always there. And so it's kind of like, yes, puppet community represented in these awesome videos.
It's crazy, and it's still kind of weird to talk to someone like that who's got that level of renown. I'm not used to. I mean, all of the puppet people that I work with, I guess, have that level of renown.
Yeah, we know a lot of people with renown, but that's another step up.
That's another step above, and it's interesting, But he's a great guy, and he's so talented, and he's so sweet, and we had great email exchanges about this project I did for him, and he's got a little other puppet that he's been making videos with. It's like based on an old Muppet pattern from the magazine.
Oh, really?
The black bearded Blatch pattern.
That's awesome. I haven't seen any of those videos.
It's basically a glove puppet with a rod. So like, you've got the glove here,
Oh, I see.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fabric part is up there, and you put the eyes at the top of the stick. It can crawl across the.
Oh,
and
it's green, right?
the early Muppet days.
It's a green one.
What? Yeah, the green one. Yeah, but that was an old Henson thing.
That's awesome.
But I made one. Yeah,
that's really cool. I was so insanely tickled to see you in that video. I remember
it was so much fun. It was a really fun day, and then we also got to go see the show that night. So that was
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
he did that whole one-day build before a show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we started at I guess he got there around 9 o'clock in the morning. We were there at 8:30. We worked all day, and we finished at 5. He got in the car, went to the NJ Pack in Newark. I ran home, took a quick shower, and changed. And
that's really
shot
cool.
right down to the theater. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited. We've got you rattled off a few people you want to talk to. I'm excited to bring back a few of our old guests that you're very good friends with, like
you want to bring back?
Like Noel, Lars.
Him.
No, yeah, him. Noel, Lars. Just everybody. Everyone. Anyone that
and any one of them would be a good talking head to bounce things off with too,
Absolutely. So I'm excited to hear the stories that you drag out of people that I couldn't drag out of people, because maybe you were there for some of those stories.
Well, maybe some of them, yeah. Well, it's just, again, I think we were so Muppet centric, aside from the couple of the ladies who do the Dr. Puppet. You had a couple other individuals who don't necessarily do Muppet stuff.
Oh yeah. We've had a lot of people who aren't necessarily Muppet involved, but it's going to be excited to talk to, because I am just the absolute worst at marionettes. I'm just absolutely terrible. So
well, I'm not fantastic at it either, but I know people who are.
Yeah. So there you go. There is a little mini introduction, a little taste of what you're going to get with James and Dan. And then
next time I'll come over.
Yeah, hang something back there, man. Come on. I know you've got stuff you could hang up.
Oh, I've got lots of fabric. Well, man, it's the heating pipe up there. I don't want to melt anything either.
That's awesome. You could just do a whole leopard print background at this point. You have the.
Well, no, I want to get rid of that. That's out the door. Anybody want about 1.5 yards of leopard print?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So there you go, folks. As always, thanks so much for listening. And check us out on Facebook at Getting Felt Up, and on Twitter at Getting Felt Up, Instagram, all those wonderful places. If you have not yet subscribed to us on YouTube, head over to YouTube and search for us, because a lot of these chats, they are live, and you can watch them with us as we chat, or you can watch them.
Want to do that?
Yeah.
I'll never know.
Why you you can watch the archives of them for the ones that are live as we move forward. But and check back soon, because lots of new episodes and lots of new interviews coming up. So thanks for watching.
We'll fill you up next time.
Whoa! James Wojtal.
I remember the catchphrase.
You remember the catchphrase. That's amazing. Perfect. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right. Good night.
And we're stopping the broadcast now. Maybe it stopped. Is it stopped?
It still says live.
It still says live. Stop the